Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the brand new Adidas Dame 9. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction. The Dame 9 features like this multi-directional traction pattern, and I actually have two colorways of this. I actually have both Bape colorways, the green camo and the red camo. As you all can see, they do have same traction patterns, and I would say they're both like semi-translucent or translucent outsoles too. And I will say the color of the outsole actually does make a difference. And I'm not sure if it's because this is like, actually dyed, whereas this one is regular like gum, but this is a translucent gum. And yeah, so when it comes to traction on clean courts, you're really not going to have any issues. The traction is actually really good on clean courts. You're going to have a very hard bite. You're going to be able to stop on dime, and it's very nice if you are playing where there's absolutely no dust. However, if you are like me and you play on your local gym courts, obviously there's going to be some dust, whether it's a lot or a little bit. That's kind of where this traction starts to suffer. You will slide to a stop here and there, and I will say it is a little inconsistent. Sometimes it'll be like a small slide, sometimes you'll have a really good stop, and then sometimes you'll have a bigger slide to a stop. And what I did notice is actually in the gum rubber, translucent gum rubber, I guess, it was actually a better performer on dustier courts than this like red translucent outsole. And I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's like the actual dye that's affecting the traction itself. So, I really can't say if this is like going to persist into the regular Dame 9s, because these are like, the special Bape collabs. Who knows? But maybe it will, affect those as well. And maybe the solid rubber options perform better than, these like translucent rubber options. But as it stands, with my experience in both of these shoes, I think the gum rubber one performs a little bit better. It is a little bit more consistent, I guess, on those dustier courts. I'd say overall this one has like a little bit better of a stop, but you do have to wipe. This thing does pick up dust. Both of these actually pick up dust. You can probably see a little bit of dust still accumulated on the outsole itself. But yeah, it does pick up dust, so you will have to wipe every so often just to make sure you get all that debris and dust, just clear off that outsole. But if you do wipe, you will have a couple good stops, and then you'll probably have to wipe again. But just be careful on those dustier courts. Like I already mentioned, clean courts, you're really not going to have an issue. So yeah, traction on here. I wish it was a little bit better on the dustier courts, but it is what it is. So moving on to the cushion, the Dame 9 features a full-length light strike midsole, and I would say this is actually pretty damn comfortable. This is obviously more of a guard-focused cushion setup, so you are going to feel still pretty quick and responsive in here, but I will say you do get a lot of compression in the heel, so I would say impact protection in the heel area is actually pretty decent. As you move towards the forefoot, it does thin out a little bit, and I will still say you do actually get a little bit of compression in the forefoot, but definitely not as much as compared to the heel. So you are going to get, a more responsive low to the ground feeling in the forefoot. However, I will say this really doesn't feel all too low to the ground. I would say it's average feeling, but I still felt plenty quick in this shoe. For me, this cushion setup felt pretty balanced, definitely not too much cushion or not too little cushion. I think this is like right smack in the middle, maybe slightly more towards a responsive cushion setup. But yeah, it is still a great cushion setup, at least for me. If you are expecting a lot of impact protection out of the shoe, you're just not gonna get that. But if you do wanna feel pretty quick and light on your feet, this is going to be a great option. So moving on to the materials, this Bape colorway has a full leather upper, and I'm pretty sure this is real leather as well. I'm not exactly sure, what the materials used on the regular Dame 9 are gonna be. Probably some sort of synthetic material, maybe some textile in there. I honestly don't know. And it'll probably change from colorway to colorway, because that's kind of what happens a lot of the times. But yeah, as it stands on this pair, it is a full leather upper, and the materials feel very premium. It is very nice. And you pretty much get that throughout the entire shoe. You do have like this kind of inner booty area where this material is a textile. Also feels pretty damn nice. No complaints there. Moving towards the tongue, or I guess like what would kind of be the tongue, you do have like this open mesh, which is not the most padded, but if you do like to crank down your laces, you won't really have any issues because you actually do have these wide flat laces, which kind of suck actually because you do have to double knot them. If you single knot them, they will most likely come undone, which is a little bit annoying. But at least with this particular pair and the red one, obviously, you actually get a second set of laces, which are not these flat laces. It's more of like a traditional round lace. And I feel like that might solve the issue with the double knotting, but I honestly don't know because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't even try it. Overall though, the materials on this particular pair is very, very nice. It is on the premium side, and you know, in terms of performance, it does get the job done very, very well too. One thing I will say though is because this is full leather, there really isn't any ventilation in here. So if you do have, you know, feet that run a little bit hotter, it might get a little toasty in this shoe. But for me, I thought material usage was great. I really can't complain. So moving on to the fit, I will say that the Dame 9 does run a half size big. So I would say whatever you normally wear, probably go down a half size and you're gonna be good to go. I'm a slightly wide footer and I went down a half size, and these felt very, very good. In the forefoot, it didn't feel like too constricting or anything like that. I actually felt pretty damn comfortable going down a half size. So I think if you're a normal footer, narrow footer, or even slightly wide footer, going down a half size is probably your best bet. If you do have wider feet, maybe go true to size. And if you have really wide feet, I still think true to size should be okay. Maybe go up a half size if you have extremely wide feet, but at that point, you might as well just stay away from the shoe altogether. Besides that, I thought the fit in the shoe was actually very good as well. This is basically a one booty upper. Like, you don't have a disconnected tongue or anything like that. You just basically slide your foot in, you crank the laces, and you're good to go. So make sure you all do get your right fit. Otherwise, you might have some, you know, issues, especially when it comes to like the support in here. So just be careful of that. But the fit was very snug for me, but the fit was overall very nice and snug for me. I didn't have any dead space in the toe box area. I felt very, very, you know, just like comfortable and contained in the shoe. So yeah, overall, I thought the fit in the Dame 9 was actually really, really good. So moving on to the support, I had absolutely zero issues in the Dame 9. You do have an internal heel counter. You do have like this little internal sleeve, what kind of like where this, you know, one booty upper is like doing its thing. And yeah, I didn't have any heel slippage in this shoe, which is awesome and great because, you know, I usually do have at least some sort of heel slippage, I guess, in most Adidas shoes, but I didn't have that problem in this one. When it comes to side-to-side movement on the footbed, I didn't have any issues there as well. The materials do a nice job of making sure my foot is not sliding around on that footbed. And you actually have this foam piece that does wrap onto the upper of the shoe to kind of act as an outrigger or like a cage for your foot. That actually wraps up on the medial side as well, which is also really nice. As far as those hard lateral movements go, you aren't going to be rolling over. This is a very wide base, as you can see. This midsole does protrude out to act as an outrigger, so you aren't going to be rolling over. And when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, this thing has got you covered. You do have this shank plate that pretty much runs full length, and it is going to be very, very stiff and rigid. And it's almost like a spring plate. So if you do, you know, take your stride, you kind of feel like you're being propelled forward. And yeah, you know, so overall support in the Dame 9 is very, very good. And I had absolutely zero issues. So the Dame 9 retails for $120 and the Babe colorways run $170. And I'm not even sure if you can get these anymore, but for $120, I would say that is definitely a good price for this shoe. Really the only issue, like I said, is the traction on those dustier courts, which kind of sucks. But as long as you maintain your wipes, you should be good to go. I will say, however, if you are playing on like really dusty courts, maybe just stay away from the shoe in general because you will probably end up just sliding around way too much, and that's just not fun, right? But if you aren't playing on extremely dusty courts, you're gonna have a great time in the shoe for the most part. Just make sure to, you know, get your wipes in because you will be needing to do that. Besides the traction issue, everything else about this was very, very nice. The cushion is like a nice balanced cushion setup, at least for me. Materials, like I said, this one in particular does feature leather, whereas I feel like the regular colorways of the Dame 9 will probably feature like a synthetic leather, which, you know, it'll still do the job just fine, assuming it's implemented the exact same way. But yeah, I mean, everything else about the shoe was pretty solid. The worst part of the shoe is the traction on dustier courts. But yeah, you know, for 120 bucks, I'd say go ahead, pick up a pair. But yeah, I mean, if you are playing on the cleaner courts or your cleaner courts, I think the Dame 9 will be an absolute fun shoe to play in. If you all wanted to pick up a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And please hit that thumbs up button for me and leave a comment, as they really do help me out. While you all are at it, check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.